Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to one of the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with Mushoku Tensei. We are in the second core of Season 2. We are literally in episode 13 right now. This is as far as I've ever gotten before. I mean, not as far. Episode 12 was as far as I've ever gotten before. This is the new stuff. This is the stuff I've been waiting literally since the week before the new stuff started getting released. I was waiting for it, and then I had to go back to the beginning again. So now I'm finally catching up with everybody else. I guess technically a little bit not that most people in the waiting period went back and read the manga. Maybe not most people. Some people did. Some people only read the manga and aren't really that informed on the show. There's a mix mash of things going on here. But I'm finally here. Now, the only things that have changed, or not changed, the only things that aren't to what I said before, I don't have an update on the board. The board is literally right where it was when I left off with Griff. I don't have any notes right now. The notes I read during the catch-up streams. So that is what that is. Obviously, I'm only going to be doing one episode a week at the moment, so that, I have a lot of notes that I have to write for a lot of shows. Some of them are solo shows, some of them I watch with lessons, the Macrosses, the Gundams, what have you. I need time to get that done. The boards as well. I do the boards for tons of shows. I should also mention that I am including Mushoku Tensei in the live stream stuff where I do all of my solo stuff. So Fridays, 11 a.m. EST, if you want to watch this live with whoever else might be here. So yeah, that's also an element of that. If I recorded a bunch of these episodes back to back live, I would have no room for the notes. Also, not for nothing, but it's the second half of a core, so there wouldn't be that much to get through, and I don't want to speed through it. If I was watching this on a weekly basis as it was being released, I'd have the time to, what's the word here I want to use? Savor it, right? I'd have time to think about the nuances of every little thing that's happening and, guess what's happening. So I'm kind of going to do that, the slower roll release kind of thing. This isn't like One Piece where you just watch 17 episodes in a row and still feel like you've only watched 2 episodes of real content. It's not me shitting on One Piece. I've watched over 1,000 episodes of One Piece myself. They just kind of play differently to a show that is chock full of it, right? So, that said, let's go ahead and get into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Gonna get married. The wedding ring? Is she gonna get jealous finding the panties someday? Again, she's our dwarven Reptalia, I have to think. I think you've gotta, pen it in, Rudeus. If you're gonna get married.
今日は皆さんにご報告があります。詳しい内容については言えませんが、先日とある病から解放されました。
ボス、病気だったのかにゃ？襲ってこなかった理由はそれなの？
I don't know if you have the confidence to like say what it is. I mean, he just said he wasn't going to, but
なるほど。大変だったな。何にせよ、おめでとう。
not the sort of thing you talk about with a bunch of teenagers.
俺を悩ませていた病気が治った。シルフィーがとても大切なものを捧げてまで俺を助けてくれた。
I like how they said confidence because I feel like that is literally what he was lacking.
人に戻れた気がした。
発情の匂いが強くなったにゃ。全校女性との訂正の危機だにゃ。近くに寄ると妊娠するの。
失礼な。僕は紳士ですよ。
You've been groping them constantly.
七星さんはもし誰かと付き合ったらその相手に何を望みますか？
突然何を言い出すの？恋バナ？
似たようなものです。
私は早く帰りたい。
Wasn't she on a date when she got hit by a
いつも
truck?
雑談ばっかりして黙って手を動かせばそれだけ効率が上がるのよ。
七星さんはあれですか？恋愛経験はない人ですか？
私にだって好きな人ぐらいいるわ。喧嘩して。
Or was it the guy who got left behind and that's why she's so hard to get back?
そういえば、七星は喧嘩の最中に召喚されたんだったか。
すみません。
謝るくらいなら手を動かして。好きな人は普通に一緒にいてくれるだけで十分よ。
Because we know one of them got transported and one of
最
them
近は
didn't.
定期的にパウロに手紙を送っている。病気が治った以上、家族との再会を目指してもいいのだが、その前にやらなければならないことがある。シルフィーにミサオを立てる。
You
彼女
better.
が俺を助けてくれたように、今度は俺がシルフィーの望むことをしてあげる番だ。
そういえば。
結婚ってどうすればいいんだ？
結婚ですか？
ええ。
I guess I didn't consider that this world might have different
そうだな。
things, ceremonies, whatnot.
いきなり家ですか？
当たり前だ。結婚するのに家もなくてどうするんだ。
そういえば、パウロも結婚するにあたってブエナ村に住むようになったんだったか。
相手側がいいところのお嬢さんで家を持っているってんならともかく、どっちも家なしだったら
I feel like these are expectations and not
この世界
necessities.
ではそういうものなのか。
わかりました。まずは家ですね。明日町に出て物件を見てきます。
ルーデス、お前結婚するのか？
ええ、まあ。
誰と？
病気を治してくれた人で。
なるほどな。もし相手がミリス教徒なら言ってくれ。まだ略式しかできないが、ノリとはあげられる。
Because I'm the Pope.
はい。
Still a theory. Wasn't even my theory, but still funny to think about.
物件を見るとは言ったものの、正直どれぐらいの家を買えばいいのか俺にはさっぱりわからない。シルフィーは王女の護衛だ。護衛抜きにしても仲がいい。となるとアリエル王女が来訪する場合もあるのか。ならそれなりの家じゃないとまずいよな。
シルフィーと一緒に来た方が良かったかもな。
いやいや。
I mean, it'd be a nice consideration if your wife and likes the house that you would have to live in.
しかも安いような物件は。ん？
なかなかいい家ですな。
いや、二人で暮らすには大きすぎるぐらいじゃないか。
訳ありなので。
Also throws me every time that he's with
呪われ
him.
ているって話だったか。
But then again, I guess they're friendly now that he set him up with Dragon
翌
Road.
日、家の者が惨殺されていたそうです。
除霊などはしなかったのですか？
冒険者ギルドは犠牲者が出てから受けてくれなくて、魔術ギルドの方も取り合ってくれないみたいですよ。
怠慢だな。
だから二人を呼んだんですよ。さて、ザノバさん、クリフさん、参りましょうか。
I mean, if Cliff is the Pope, then you'd think he'd be able to handle a bunch of ghosts.
お前な、いきなり壊すなよ。
失礼。扉が歪んで開かなくなっていました。
I also appreciate how much Zenobia has, like, matured over time.
どうしますか？
まずは
I wonder how much of that's attributable to the dwarf girl.
かしこまりました。
なんかお前本格的だな。
一応僕も永久冒険者ですからね。
ああ、そうだったな。それで僕はどうすればいい？
敵を見つけたら初級の進撃魔術で攻撃してください。
了解。
I don't know, did we ever cover that before? The difference between regular magic and divine magic? So I don't remember that ever being a point of discussion.
Huh. いませんね。
それで今日はここに泊まるんだよな。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
I also have to say, I understand this is the prescient thing in that it's literally the last thing we left off on, the whole getting married thing. I still wish we were looking for Zenith. I want to save Zenith.
ジュリが心配ですな。
僕もリーゼが心配だ。
俺だってシルフィーが心配だ。
Sorry, hearing him call Elise Lise is a
何
thing.
でしょうか？
俺、この件が片付いたら結婚するんだ。
はい、さっさと終わらせてこの屋敷で盛大に祝いたいものですな。
そのお祝い、ちゃんと僕とリーゼも呼べよ。
Oh, I was thinking bachelor party, not party
当たり前じ
party.
ゃないですか。
Say, is this gonna be like a place where people are trafficking stuff? It's not gonna be ghosts, it's gonna be actual people. So yeah, that obviously looked like a trapdoor when they were looking at it before. I'm surprised they didn't do like the candle thing where the candle blows the way the air is going.
ルーデス、起きろ。音がする。
ゾノバを起こしてください。
Once again, for those of you watching this later on YouTube, responding to the live chat, I know Paul was looking for Zenith, but Rudy also heard about the labyrinth thing before.
どうですか？
Also, Rudy is completely capable of looking for things on his own.
わかりました。
I want to find Zenith.
上の階から順番に隅から隅まで調べましょう。
ああ。
あとは地下室だけです。
Again, I love the fact that Zenoba, the overtly strong guy, club.
どうだった？
とりあえず荷物を置いた部屋へ戻り襲撃に備えましょう。
音はした。なら敵は来る。あるいはこちらが寝静まるまで様子を見ている可能性もあるが。
まだ潜んでる可能性もある。
Again, why did an overtly strong guy push?
大丈夫そうですな。
やはり寝込みを襲ってくると見るべきか。
Oh, there we go. Creepy. Creepy as fuck. Okay. Kind of actually looks more like a machine than a ghost. Oh, it is. No way, we didn't just lose Sonoba. Oh, we didn't.
これ式では傷一つつきませんぞ。
母なる大地に恵みを与えし、我らが神よ、断りに背きし、愚かなる者に神罰を与えよ。エクソシストレート。
これは
Yeah, it's an automaton.
俺がやる。ザラバ、どけ。
お待ちください師匠。
いいからどけ。俺がやる。
お待ちください師匠。お願いします。
Yeah, the dude who loves statues and masterwork has to be, like, impressed by this shit, right?
師匠、まずは部屋に。
いや、逃げたわけじゃないぞ。あんな狭い廊下だと邪魔になると思
Did
って。
I say something about this last
いい
season?
判断です。
Last core?
まあ、俺も腰を抜かしたし。
About the fact that he was so good at making statues and shit that
けどな、
golems or
魔王みたいに不死身じゃないんだから
すごい。ですよ師匠。
mechanical stuff wouldn't be that far down.
人形？
師匠、素晴らしいですよこれは。
ザノバ、いくらお前が人形好きだからってな。
師匠、この人形は動いていたんですよ。動く人形なんですよ。
動く人形？
動く人形、自動人形、オートマタ、メイド。
I swear, I said something about this last core.
すごいな。
The fact that they were focusing so much on the fact that Rudy is good at this thing means he had to do something with it.
要は一目でこれが人形だと気づきましたよ。
ここに動く人形がいる。ということは、仕組みさえ分かれば、俺たちでも作れるかもしれない。
There we go.
こいつは木製のようだが、もしシリコン素材のようなフィギュアでも動かせるのなら、夢が広がる。
ザノバ、どうしましょ
Yeah,
う。
but where would you get silicone from? Here.
師匠、予防です。涙が出てきそうですよ。
おい、お前らいい加減にしろ。
お、
そんなこと言ってる場合じゃ
Sorry,
ない。
the way it was framed in the scene, I thought it was gonna jump up.
人形が動いたのだぞ。なぜその重大さが魔物には動く鎧とかもいるんだぞ。
ザノバ、手を離してください。
しかし師匠、
クリフ先輩の言うことはもっともです。おそらくこの人形が悪霊の正体でしょう。一体とは限りません。探して捕まえましょう。
Well, no, it came from
人
somewhere.
形の設計図などが見つかるかもしれませんしね。
おお、なるほど、確かに。
この人形がどこにいたのか徹底的に突き止めましょう。
Like, I imagine a workshop, but
壁を
would it open the door on its own?
おそらくこの先に部屋があります。ザノバ、ここを押してみてくれ。
承知しました。おおお、
やっぱり隠し扉か。
So yeah, literally everything I said. Right down to Zenoba pushing the door.
この台座が何かわかりますか？
いや、初めて見るな。何か見つけたか？
ええ、これを。
人形のことが書いてあるように見えますな。
図だけなら魔道具の魔法陣に
It's a person in the doll?
そうなんですか？
ああ、最近魔道具について調べているんだが、似たような魔法陣を見たことがある。
なるほど。
この部屋の主はあの人形を研究していたのだろう。人形にはガードマン的な役割を担わせていたのだと思う。惨殺された人物は運悪く侵入者と認識されたということか。
I'm confused by the left-hand side. Yeah.
いるということは、部屋の主は事故で死んだ可能性が高い。
Were they just doing research on the human body to make the form of the doll, or are they implying that the inside of the doll has that in
これ
it?
にて一件落着というわけ
Hey,
だ。
case closed. We were just talking about that in the in-between on the recording.
クリス先輩、ザナバ、今回は手伝ってもらってありがとうございます。
気にするなよ。僕とお前の仲だろ。それより地下室にあったものはどうする？
ひとまず空いている研究室を借りてそこで研究しましょうか。
師匠、
何ですか？
この動く人形の研究、世に一任してもらえないでしょうか。
どうしたんだよ、急に。
世は魔力総量も少なく、手先も不器用です。樹里のためにと作り始めた石竜の人形も師匠の足を引っ張るばかりで土として作業が進みません。式の解析には少々時間がかかるやもしれません。
I mean, yeah, I guess this makes a bit of
行わ
sense.
れた方が研究は早く進むやもしれません。
研究中に人形がまた暴れたらどうするんだ？
多少暴れられても世なら問
Yeah,
題
it literally didn't hurt him to begin with.
お願いします、師匠。師匠の計画が成就した時、世は金を出しただけだったという結果に終わりたくはないのです。どうかこの研究を
It follows the Naruto path of research. I mean,
わかった。
thought process.
ザナバ、お前に任せるよ。
本当ですか？
でも隠れて研究されていたくらいだから気をつけてな。
ありがとうございます。
管理だけはしっかりしてくれよ。大学でお化け騒ぎとか僕は嫌だからな。
思わぬ収穫もあったが、これで夢のマイホームだ。
Also surprised we didn't get like an intro yet.
すごい楽しみだよ。
棒読みだな、シルフィー。もしかして君、こっそり情報収集とかして事前に知ってるのではないかね？
I mean, conceivably, Elise and Julie knew what you were up to and could have shared this with Sylphet. I guess they didn't like tell us any time passed, so they could have had as much time as they wanted to fix this place up.
シルフィーは嫌かもしれないけど、俺は結構好きだったからさ。
そうだね。
Hey, I said that I prefer her green hair to her white hair.
見てください。
I guess you really did have to buy a house to get married. At least Sylphie is acting that way. Here, I thought it was going to be like a whole misunderstanding thing.
すごい。なんでこんなに大きなベッド？
As if you didn't tell the princess already.
シルフィーを美味しく食べるためさ。
あ、そっか。そうだよね。
シルフィー。
はい。
結婚するとは言ったが、正直どうすればいいのか俺はわからない。こうして家を買ってはみたが、これからのことだって話し合わなければならないことばかりだ。
ルディが望むんだったら何人でも。
Literally the conversation you had the conversation about already.
それは俺も望むところだが、アリエル王女の護衛はどうするんだ？
僕らはまだあと2年はこの国にいるし、卒業した後もすぐアスラ王国に戻るわけじゃないんだ。だからごめん。よく考えたらルディに失礼な話だよね。こんな立派なお家も用意してくれたのにあまりつけないだろうし。
シルフィーは俺に大切なものを取り
Yeah,
戻
it's
さ
with
せ
the
てくれた。
whole having to get a
自分の
house
体を
first
使って。しかもシルフィーは初めてで、俺は乱暴
kind
だ
of
った。
didn't make sense.
さぞ怖かっただろ
Because
う。
we still have the whole having to go back and,
そうした素振りは全く見せず、
I guess, put Ariel on the throne arc. Has to be an arc at some point.
そのおかげで俺は力を取り戻すことができたのだ。シルフィーがダメと言うなら、誰がいいというのだ。
僕に妻になる資格なんて。
シルフィーは俺のものだ。
はい、ルディのです。
なので結婚してください。
I mean, it's fine.
はい。
It's fine.
シルフィーはシルフィーのやりたいようにやればいいんだ。それでお互い言いたいことがあったら
They're just gonna be engaged for like 3 years, that's all.
そうだね。
差し当たって何か俺に言っておくべきことはあるかい？
突然いなくなったりしないでね。
ああ、分かった。突然いなくなったりしない。約束だ。
うん、約束。
I like the habit that they have now. I guess maybe it's the party. I'm sorry. I would say I like the habit they have now of showing the name of the episode at the end of the episode. So by the time you see the name of the episode, you've already had all the emotional beats and impact of what the episode was. So, you know, it's like a capper. They're putting a capper on everything we've gone through so far. So over there at the end, when Sylphie says, just don't up and leave me, that thing, it's like, oh, a little bit choked up there, but then my brain goes back to the second core. One of the main problems I had was when rudeus ties up the Beast Girls and then puts them through the thing that created his whole introversion and fear of going outside and never addresses it. So my first thought is literally, I would never, because that's been a thing for me this whole time. So I wouldn't do that to you, the person I love, right? That's my immediate thought in the situation. But now, I cannot help but go back and think, if he didn't learn one lesson, then obviously it opens the door for not being able to learn a different lesson. Obviously, I think this isn't one of those cases. I do not think that Rudy would just, like, leave any room for a misconception for Sylphie to think that he's left her. Even if he goes to go save his mom, right? He'll leave a note. There'll be no misconceptions here. He wouldn't risk it. Not because of the whole how important it's just too recent. It's too recent in his own mind for him to not make sure that Sylvie, having expressed this concern, that he would not do it himself. He is, God, what, 20 something years from his initial problem that made him a hikikomori, an introvert sort of person. That maybe that's why he doesn't recognize what he did to those Beast Girls. But it still puts the doubt into my mind, and that is the problem for me. Obviously, once again, I want to reiterate, I do not think he will cause that kind of a problem for Sylvie. That is nowhere in the cards. Otherwise, wedding reception. Somebody else has to be getting married because if it's a reception, then it's not for him. If he's going to get married for 2 years or something like that. I don't know who else would be getting married. I mean, not unless Cliff is like super inspired, because any episode could be any amount of time. Like the beginning of this episode, clearing the house of the ghost or the automaton or whatever you want to call it, to Rudy showing Sylphie the house. Obviously, he painted, he refurbished, he fixed up the inside. Any amount of time could have happened between the beginning of this episode and the end of the episode. Meaning, Cliff and Elise could have any amount of time in their relationship to decide to get married and then buy a house, I guess. I don't know. If he's the Pope? I mean, I don't know. But the point being is, I don't know what it refers to. We have too many characters. Not we have too many characters. We have plenty of characters for which that could apply. It's cute. It's cute. I like how if you were watching this in like a binge or in a week per week after this is already after second quarter already started, whatever, you end one core on a very high emotional beat, and you start the second core on a high emotional beat. It plays well back to back with one another. I really enjoyed it. And of course, we have Alex in chat pointing out that Zenoba's voice actor is the same voice actor as Caster from Fate Zero. Obviously, I will never have noticed that. I have no ear for similarity. I think this actually came up the other day when I was watching somebody react to Black Lagoon, the Lovelace kid, the kid from the Lovelace family in Black Lagoon, in my memory, has the same English voice actor as Jim Starling. The kid from Outlaw Star. Both of those kids had the same voice actor in my head. Now, heard him again in Black Lagoon, they are different voice actors. I am tone deaf when it comes to voices. The same way I, in certain anime, get face blindness. I just don't see it. So, yeah, did not recognize it. Either way, yeah, not a lot to talk about here, other than I guess the facet that I had previously discussed about Rudeus having a specialty with making statues, right? Didn't so much consider it for Zenoba, because obviously he's kind of a fuck up when it comes to that. But that Rudy has a specialty, and when you have a specialty in anime, you tend to do something with it. So I suspected that there was going to be automata, golems, dolems, that sort of thing. And here we are, we have one. But then we've handed it off to Zenoba to deal with. Now, Zenoba is bad at this sort of thing. But what I said during the episode that this could be a Naruto situation, when Naruto needs to prove that just because you're bad at something doesn't mean you can't do it, he always pulls out, when I was in school, I couldn't do a shadow clone jutsu to save my life. In fact, I almost got kicked out of school for it. And now shadow clone jutsu is his primary thing. It's like one of the main things he does. Or it was back when Naruto was the main show and now not Boruto, but I've never seen Boruto. I don't know. Whatever. So, having Zenoba be the guy for this now could just be that like Naruto style proof of, hey, I was bad at this, but now look at me, you know? And, you know, given the fact that he's not the worst of his family's brothers, arguable. Obviously, the other brother is a sexual pervert and kind of horrible. But you also have to remember that Zenoba killed his other brother with his bare hands by mistake. So I mean, they've both got their negative elements. Zenoba is bad in practice, but not on paper. I don't know. I don't know if he's not bad on paper. I've not seen Zenoba's academic quality when it comes to any of this. He's bad in practice, and in practice is the only field I've really seen him in. I think he's bad on paper, only by the facet of he has no conception of imagination. I think that was supposed to be proven when he is trying to carve clay. The difference between doing something magical and doing something with his hands, and he's supposed to be good with his hands, so it's supposed to imply that he doesn't have the imagination for it either, which has to be the paper aspect. Otherwise, you're just saying he's good at academics, and academics is a wide range thing. It's like he didn't get kicked out of school for bad grades, sure, but this is like hidden knowledge. This is something we've got to keep quiet about for the other people. So obviously it's not something he's being taught in the school. And it seems unlikely that he's taking any sort of stone masonry classes in this magic academy. I don't know. Either way, I guess that's really all there is here, other than the fact that also that house that Rudeus bought reminds me of other anime houses. I want to say I've seen that in Konosuba, in Another World with my smartphone, possibly other shows. That house layout just looks very familiar in anime, and that might be the play, right? That might be the same sort of thing that they do with, like, walled cities and isekai, that it's a very familiar looking place on purpose, just so you don't get lost and you know what kind of show you're watching. Yeah, other than that, final thought, I thought the whole buying a house thing was going to be a misnomer. Like, Cliff is just saying expectations of things that married people would be, but it very much seemed by Sylphie's reaction that that was actually a thing. And that possibly Rudy buying a ring, if there was a ring in that box, might just be an odd thing. Like, he's going to give Sylphie a ring, and she's going to be like, what does this mean? Or, hey, thanks for the gift. You know, like, it doesn't have any meaning here. Thinking back to it, I don't remember if I ever noticed Zenith having a ring on her fingers or anything. So, off the top of my head, I have no recollection of any married person in the show having rings on their hands. Either way, though, that has been the first episode of the second core of the second season of Mushoku Tensei. We are in it, and I guess joke's on me, because all I want to do right now is watch the next episode and see what happens. But I've given myself the space to take notes, to update board, whatnot. So gonna have to take it. So if you want to watch the next episode with me, Fridays, 11 a.m. EST is when we start these streams, so I will catch you there. Otherwise, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?